and tell us where we're at.
We're at the Gila Bend Lodge, which was once the Travel Lodge Motel. In 1973, the production crew of the movie The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing were lodged here. The stars that stayed here were Sarah Miles over there, Burt Reynolds over there, and the producer, or the director, Paul, stayed here too. As well as Lee J. Cobb, I'm not sure which room he was. But their assistant, Sarah Miles' assistant slash secretary slash lover, originally stayed in the room next to hers, but then moved over into this room. Let's go find Sarah Miles' room.
So is this, whose room was this? 127.
127, this was where Sarah Miles stayed. And this was a room where she was attacked by her assistant slash lover, David Whiting. Next door to her was where her nanny, Janie, and her child were staying. David Whiting originally stayed in this room until the baby arrived, and then he moved over there. Now, after David came in through the room, attacked Sarah Miles, she told Jenny to call Burt Reynolds, who was staying on the opposite side of this building in room 135. David ran off, presumably to his room. And the next morning at 8 or 10, they said both things, or it could have even been noon, Sarah came back to her room and found David Whiting lying dead near the bathroom. She went to the director's room, 123. The police were eventually called. It could have been a 2-hour delay, because first they had to call the studio and let them know. The studio dispatched an attorney who immediately went about procuring two of the biggest lawyers in Arizona, one of them being John Flynn, the lawyer behind the Miranda decision, and took over from there. There was an inquest.
Held here?
Yeah, held down the street at the Gila Bend Justice Court, which we'll probably go to later. And Flynn was able to successfully get a lot of the injunctions against Burt Reynolds blocked, but he was finally compelled to testify, and it was more of a statement than a testimony, as the lawyer apologized, or as the judge apologized for wasting Burt's time, and Sarah Miles broke down in tears and ran out of the courtroom in hysterics in what would have been an Oscar-nominated role had it been in the movie. But this is where it happened.
So now the important question that's on everybody's mind, the time between what transpired between when she said, "Go get Burt," and when she found him, where was Burt and where was Sarah during that time?
Well, Sarah stayed here.
Mm-hmm.
David Whiting apparently went back to his room because there was a lot of blood found in there.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was found dead here.
Where did Sarah go during that time?
She went to Burt's room.
Okay.
And then she stayed with Burt.
Okay. So what were they doing? Just rehearsing their lines and, probably playing cards.
Yeah. Because originally...
He's counseling her, saying, I'm sorry you have to go through this,
She had gone down
Things will work out.
Gila Bend, and she rode back with Lee J. Cobb, had a drink at the bar, then went to Burt's room while Burt was getting a 2-hour massage from a Japanese masseuse named Let's Go.
Okay, there's nothing weird. So far, nothing weird about this at all. It's pretty everyday.
After the massage, Sarah came back to her room, As you can see, it's a direct line of sight from where David was watching. So David, obviously jealous, came and confronted her and attacked her. And depending upon what story you heard, her initial statement was she got the beating of her life. And then later at the Inquisition, she just said that David just slapped her.
Mm.
This was after plenty of coaching
Yeah.
by John Flynn and others in the studio.
Was she ever photographed for all this beating that she received and everything? And
I don't know.
any inventory of her injuries ever taken or anything? Just curious. Not doubting her story. It's just that it's a procedure. Perhaps it was overlooked. So whose room are we looking at?
This is where Burt Reynolds stayed.
Which one?
135.
Okay.
This is where she met up with Burt. Probably got banged by Burt in there a couple of times.
So you don't think they were rehearsing lines, or I forget what they said they were doing during that time? Or if they even said?
Just talking.
Okay. Yeah, he's just, oh, you poor thing. Gosh, I hope things work out. Perhaps you guys can talk about this, talk it over. Cooler heads prevail, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And after she got beaten by David Whiting, she came back here, spent the night here.
In Burt's room.
Burt's room.
Yep.
And found the body the next day.
Now, was the entire crew staying here?
I think so, yeah.
Where was the actual filming taking place? Because it was a Western, right?
Yeah,
Taking place in the Old
I
West.
think there was a railroad station that they were using somewhere
Okay.
out in the desert.
Now, not to get ahead or anything, perhaps I'll get to it, but so Burt gave the original inquest statement, as you said, but then they made him come back again, and he was mighty pissed about that. Am I
Yeah.
getting ahead, or or is that part of it?
He made a statement to the police
Uh-huh.
at the time, the morning of,
Mm-hmm.
but they had an inquisition. Then the subpoenas were all quashed. Then they got him reinstated. And finally, about a month later, they got Burt Reynolds to come back here and get
His true
right down the street
deposition or
at the
whatever.
Justice Court,
Uh-huh.
which was plenty of time to be coached, rehearsed,
Yeah.
and the official cause of death, even despite all the injuries to David Whiting's hands and a 1-inch wide star-shaped laceration on his back of his head, and who was found face down, was an overdose of methaqualone,
Which is
depressant.
methaqualone. Okay. Does it have a street name I would recognize, or is it just
I think
not popular anymore?
It's from England.
Okay.
In English, it's like Quaalude and Benadryl.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And a professor of pharmacology from San Francisco said there was not enough in there in his belly to be an overdose.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was the equivalent of 2 or 3 pills. While the Maricopa County coroner and a couple of others, including Dr. Thomas Noguchi, coroner to the stars,
Yeah.
Los Angeles, concurred that yes, it was an overdose. I don't know how Thomas Noguchi found out about it, or they just said on the record. So there's some dispute whether or not it was an overdose or was it a head injury.
Now, was it your article that mentioned it? I can't remember that the prior to all of this happening, Burt was actually in Phoenix celebrating his birthday. Was that?
No, he was in Swinging Ajo
Uh-huh.
down the road.
Okay.
He had gone there to the Pink Palomino and had a big birthday party, but Sarah left early with Lee J. Cobb, because Lee J. Cobb had a new car, a Citroen with a Maserati engine.
Well, there you go.
So she wanted to ride back with Lee, so she got back into the hotel bar here, had a cocktail, then came over to Burt's room. This was right about midnight, while he was getting his 2-hour massage from Let's Go. And
So 2-hour massage, is that like deep tissue and...
I don't know.
Because I'm usually good for 10 minutes. I'm just trying to picture a 2-hour massage.
The masseuse, the Japanese masseuse, she was actually from a resort in Scottsdale that the studio paid her to come out here and put her up here so she could, keep the stars tip top.
Yeah, just loosened up, I guess. Yeah. So the story has a happy ending.
But during that time, they said there was a restaurant and a bar in here.
Right. Let's head out.
Okay.
That's not a bar anymore. That's a storage for us now. That restaurant was closed down in 2001.
Oh.
With the last owner, third or fourth owner before.
Storage?
Oh. Is anybody staying in room 127?
No. You want to take a look?
Yeah, any chance we can have a look at that?
Let me go to
Which one's 127?
Sarah Miles' room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tim with the score. We're gonna get an exclusive tour of Sarah Miles' room. No. Well, no, that's perfect. They're like still original.
All right. So this is where David Whiting was found. Now, a man died in here.
In this room or the
This one.
This one.
Yes. And he had injuries. And this was after he beat up Sarah Miles. And
Secondary.
They think that Burt Reynolds killed him. But he got off on it. Or he got off.
He wasn't charged with it.
Yeah.
Any idea what year was that?
1973.
73.
Yeah.
This used to be then brand new because this was built in 64.
Oh, okay.
This is all these Hollywood people were all staying in here.
I wasn't sure when it was, but this, according to paper, this was built in 64.
Oh, okay. So it's only like a decade old, yeah.
Wow, this is
Exclusive access.
I guess there was a connecting door. Like the doors were connected because Sarah Miles' nanny and her child were staying in the next room.
This is connecting.
Yeah, and then the guy David Whiting, he snuck in here.
Where would the door be?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
You can feel that. See here, there's a joint.
Yeah, he snuck in here
Maybe. I'm not sure.
because he was quote Sarah Miles' secretary, and then he beat her up because he had seen her go into Burt Reynolds' room.
Possibly here. I'm not sure, but there's the only one
Yeah, it seems like it.
over here.
And
Something prominent.
Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds. So after she got beat up, she told Janie to go call Burt Reynolds. Then Burt Reynolds came over here and went looking for this guy, David Whiting.
73.
Yeah.
Probably July or
Mm-hmm.
August, this will be gone.
Oh, really? They're gonna level it?
Oh, really?
Well, we probably will break something and then make different. But no,
Yeah.
building won't be labeled, but so it could be different room number.
Yeah.
Now, do you know if the room numbers there are different?
They're same.
As they were in 64
They were flipped.
or 73.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, David Whiting, the guy who killed and beat up Sarah Miles, might have been murdered by Burt Reynolds. He was staying in 119, which they said was just right there.
119, so that was 121. We changed the numbers.
Okay, so where are we now?
This was the Gila Bend Justice of the Peace Court, where Burt Reynolds and Sarah Miles, along with E.J. Cobb, gave their depositions. Afterwards, Burt Reynolds stood right about here and gave an ad hoc press conference to everyone.
So is he glad to be back in Arizona?
No, he came out here and he was put out, being going back to this small little town, as charming as it is and was back then. But he gave more of a statement than a disposition, saying he had nothing to do with nothing. Sarah Miles, she broke down in tears and ran out of the courtroom crying. And that was the conclusion of the death of David Whiting.
So it all
Overdose, accidental or on purpose.
just kind of ended here, and that was the end of it.
That was it.
And Gila Bend has always been the same.